Charana Vinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Alachua Hare Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Vishnu Pad Purmantas Pushpacharya Storati Simad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Anantapuri Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhupada Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Hare Krishna Gopinath Shamakuna Radhakunda Guru Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Navarit Mayapur Dham Ki Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Ganga Mai Ki Chamana Mai Ki Tulsi Maharani Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Shri Shri Radhe Shyam Ki Shri Shri Krishna Balaram Ki Shri Shri Gauranitai Ki Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Prabhupada's ISKCON movement Ki Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the Assembly Virtues. All glories to the Assembly Virtues. All glories to the Assembly Virtues. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Singaya Sharanam Prapadhe Tavakara Kamala Varenaka Adbhuta Singha Dalita Hiranyakashipo Shavareta Narahadiroha Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Shavareta Narahadiropa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare
Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. I know many people, some people I've met are here for their first time. Anyone coming first time today? Welcome, Hare Krishna. Where are you coming from? From Naples. Oh, you came even further than Tampa people. Wow, thank you for coming. And you're coming from Orlando. I met you earlier. And there's some people here from Georgia I met. One here too. Hare Krishna. Where are you coming from? Very nice. Thank you. There's a big group from Tampa actually. So thank you for coming. It's a very auspicious day. It's called Chandan Yatra. And on this day, Krishna is dressed in all flowers. And then we also use the fresh sandalwood paste, and we, on the small deities, we put all sandalwood paste over the bodies to cool off in the hot summertime. So it's something we really look forward to every year. I'm going to tell you a little bit about those in a minute. I just want to thank the people who sponsored the prasadam today. Sanjay Gupta sponsored in memory of his grandmother, Sudama Devi. Is Sanjay here? No. Okay. And also, Bhavana Pahuja sponsored a cake today that we made for part of the feast. So we're going to have a class that's right after the announcements, and then starting at 5:30, they'll serve prasadam under the pavilion, and that goes all the way until 7. So don't worry if you stay in. There's going to be a class right after I'm done with announcements, and you can stay for that and go out and have dinner after that if you'd like. And then there's more kirtan in the temple room starting at 6:30. Before I tell you everyone who worked on this, I just want to say a very special happy birthday. It's Jai Shri Radhe's birthday today. Many of us know her and love her so much. She is a wonderful teacher, and she runs the advanced grades at the Bhaktivedanta Academy. In fact, she created that program. It's an international baccalaureate curriculum that she worked very hard to put together. She's an extraordinary teacher, a wonderful person, and I would like everyone to please give her your blessings that she has a long and happy, healthy life serving at Krishna's lotus feet. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you. So, I want to say thank you to everyone who made a donation for the festival today. We so much appreciate it. With special thanks to Sharad Bihari and Advaitacharya Prabhus, Vishnu Priya and Godruma Prabhus, and Sri Gaurangi and Prem Sankirtan Prabhus, because they sponsored all the flowers in all the clothes that you see. We want to give our praise and awe to the extremely talented devotees who made these flower outfits. Let me tell you who did it. Shri Gornatai, Draupadi, Madhurya Leela Nanda, Nandarani, Radhapriya, and Vrindavan worked on all of those. Krishna Balaram was Rasa Manjari, Sharala, Lakshmi Priya, Devalina, Ritajaha, Vaishnavi, and Radhapriya. And Radhe Sham, Nitai Priya, Kirtan, and Palika Saki. Oh, and Prema Tarangini also worked on Krishna Balaram outfit. Okay, well, let me just tell everyone who did everything. Richira painted the deities today, as she does every Sunday. She's an extraordinary painter, but everything came together so beautifully. And when I saw the pictures on Facebook this morning, I just thought every year it gets more beautiful, and every year we think, well, it can never top this year. It's never going to be better than 2024, but you should come again in 2025 to see if that's true. Really, there's some special mercy that goes on here to come up with these beautiful designs. So here's what's coming up. Oh, today is also Guru Purnima. That's a very auspicious day too. It's the appearance day of Srila Vyasadeva. So he is the compiler of the Vedas. We're extremely always grateful and humble to worship him on this day. Okay, this coming Saturday, the 27th, is the monthly 5-hour kirtan in the temple room. It goes from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Everyone's invited to come over and join in. You can also just tune in at youtube.com/Alachua Temple. The Radharani Club needs devotees to pledge to make items for the next bake sale, which is held on August 11th. This is your last chance to have your preparation included in the pre-order sale. So the way they do it is you tell them what you're making, and then they put it up on the internet, and then devotees will go on there and they'll all order everything that's on there, and then they come over here and pick it up on August 11th. And there may be some extra pieces that they sell out there at the little pavilion over there too. The website goes live Sunday, July 28th, so that might be something you want to make a little note of to get on there and get the stuff you like the best first. His Holiness Romapad Swami is visiting Alachua from August 14th to the 19th, and he's going to speak about the tattva and pastimes of Lord Balaram during his entire visit here. This will help us prepare and absorb our consciousness for Balaram Purnima, which is coming up on August 19th. He's going to conduct some home programs, and he'll give 3 morning classes at the temple. Everyone is welcome to come to the programs. The flyer for this is in the newsletter on Tuesday, so you can call ahead to let them know you're coming. They can make enough prasadam because they serve prasadam every evening before he speaks from 5:30 till 6. We have already started collecting information, of course, as you know, for our new temple community directory since 2022. So you have heard this announcement for 2 years. I'm sure you're totally sick of it. It's finally going to happen. We will have them printed and ready for Janmashtami. So what we need at this point is your family photo. If you've already sent in your photo, that's great. If not, please send one now. Malika will be outside today. She can take the photo of your family. It is really nice to put together a name with a face. And the more we can do that, the nicer it is. So please consider having your photo taken by Malika today so we can go into the directory. You can still get your contact information in. There's a link in the newsletter this week. If you don't get the newsletter every Tuesday in your email, you can go to our website, alachuatemple.com, and under Community on the top menu bar, just click that and Newsletter, and click that link, and then every Tuesday it gets posted. If you would like to get it in your email, then go to the newsletter on the website, scroll down to the bottom, go to our website, scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, and there's a little form that you fill in, and we'll send it to you. Finally, today, before Akuti gives a class this evening, I just want to ask everyone to make a prayer for the devotees in Sharanagati. This is a big off-the-grid farm community in British Columbia that's been there for many, many years. The wildfires in British Columbia have come down the mountain, and they have started to take out the houses there. I think they've lost 20 homes already. It's very, very devastating time for the devotees. Of course, they've all been evacuated for quite a while now, but they don't even know the condition of what's going to be left there. So we would like everyone to just pray that they can have some peace in their mind, in their heart, in their soul, and always feel the shelter of Lord Krishna's lotus feet, all the devotees in Sharanagati. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Kuti Prabhu will give the class this evening.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Ballabha Giridharadhari Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Brahmachari Jamuna Tira Brahmachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Ballabha Giridharadhari Jaya Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Brahmachari Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Krishna Sankirtan ki jai. Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you for participating in that nice kirtan about Adikarkas. It actually brought rain, which we definitely need. So more kirtan, more rain. So attend the kirtan later also. I'm going to read tonight from a very sweet book. It's called The Nectar of Instruction. When we hear, oh my gosh, instructions, oh my gosh, more instructions. Well, if one is lost, and one time I was lost. I had 16 girls in a forest one time, and I was getting lost, and I thought, oh my gosh, and the girl said, I think we're lost. I said, oh, no, we're not lost. I think, yes, we are lost. And then someone came by with some instructions on how to get out, and it was like, shh. I was so thankful. And so in the same way, I think all of us in this room have to admit that we are lost in this material world. We really don't belong here, and that we're hankering, everyone is hankering to go back to the spiritual world, to see Krishna, to see God. And we need some instruction because we're lost. And so this is very sweet nectar of instruction. And I'm going to read from verse 3. First of all, we'll praise Lord Vyasadeva and all the previous gurus on this very auspicious day by repeating Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vasudevaya. So we're going to read from verse verse 3, which I think is up there. And if you'd like to repeat, that'd be nice. Utsahan nischayat daryat tat tat karma pravartana sangatya gatsato vrite sadhir bhakti prasidyati. Maybe someone else would like to read it?
Utsaha nishchaya dhairya tat karma pravartana samjate gatsato vritte sadhi bhakti prasiddhati. Utsaha nishchaya dhairya karma pravartana sangatya gatsato vritte sadhir bhakti prasiddhati.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. There are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service. 1. Being enthusiastic. 2. Endeavoring with confidence. 3. Being patient. 4. Acting according to regular principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna. 5. Abandoning the association of non-devotees. And 6. Following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service. I'm going to kind of skip around the purport because it's long, and I'm only going to speak on a couple of these principles. Purport. Devotional service is not a matter of sentimental speculation or imaginative ecstasy. Its substance is practical activity. It is said, Uttama Bhakti, or unalloyed devotion under the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, involves the rendering of devotional service in a way that is favorable to the Lord. This devotional service should be free from any extraneous motive and devoid of fruit of karma, impersonal jnana, and all other selfish desires. Later on, the purport. One should accept this opportunity to return home back to Godhead very enthusiastically. Without enthusiasm, one cannot be successful. Even in the material world, one has to be very enthusiastic in his particular field of activity in order to become successful. A student, businessman, artist, or anyone else who wants success in his line must be enthusiastic. Similarly, one has to be very enthusiastic in devotional service. Enthusiasm means action, but action for whom? The answer is that one should always act for Krishna. So, as you can guess, I'm going to speak a little bit about enthusiasm, which is described by Srila Prabhupada in a couple of comments that he made. One was that in the path of Krishna consciousness, the first principle is enthusiasm. If you lack enthusiasm, then other things will not happen. And the first process is utsaha, enthusiasm. I must advance in spiritual life. So if one has that goal and wants to get out of this material world, then they have to have some desire which is filled with enthusiasm. to actually free themselves from the bondage that we are stuck here with. It's been a long time since we've been able to experience the pleasure that we've been missing, because the material world gives us this false pleasure that is really becomes distasteful once you taste spiritual life. So in this verse, other things are described, the conviction and the patience and following in the footsteps of the spiritual master, and so many other instructions in the Nectar of Instruction are enhanced even more if you become enthusiastic about doing all these different things. So it is definitely one of the most important things that we should attentively listen to and to take in our hearts and try to, as it says here, act upon. So there's a definition also in this purport of enthusiasm. Endeavor executed with intelligence is Krishna consciousness, is called utsaha, or enthusiasm. So endeavor executed with intelligence in Krishna consciousness. So materialists, as it was described before, are also very enthusiastic to get this and get that, all these different material benefits for themselves, some success, some gain, but they're missing the point that it should really be for Krishna. And that means that you have to bathe your intelligence in this knowledge that has been passed down by all these great personalities, ultimately coming from Krishna himself. So we don't mix our material ambitions in our spiritual enthusiasm. We try to keep it pure. And the best examples of this, of course, are the gopis, who were very selfless. And they took in a lot of loss, personal loss, and actually a lot of painful circumstances, but they're always thinking that it's for Krishna. They did that voluntarily to please Krishna, and therefore they're considered the greatest example of enthusiasm. One time, Narada Muni got called by Krishna, and he's kind of his underdog man, and he said, I have a headache. And the only thing that's going to get rid of this headache is the dust of the feet of my devotees. I want you to go out and see if you can find that. And so Narada Muni went to the Brahmins, to the devotees, and said, your Lord, he has a headache. You want to help him? Yes. Well, then we need the dust of your feet. And they go, Narada Muni, it's offensive to take the dust of our mundane feet and put it on the Lord. I'll go to hell for this. Go see someone else, maybe they'll do that. And he went to other devotees, jnanis and yogis, and then finally to the gopis, who were prancing around Vrindavan, doing their service, meditating on Krishna. And when Narada Muni came up and said, your Lord has a headache, he needs the dust of your lotus feet, they were going, oh my Lord. And of course, and they were so enthusiastic. But Narada Muni said, the dust of your feet, put it on the Lord. You could go to hell for this. Oh, I'll go to hell, no problem. I'll go to hell. And they were scrambling around, taking the dust off their feet. And here, please take it to my Lord. Fix it. So this is the enthusiasm that is pure, not mixed with what I'm going to get out of it, but what I can do to please the Lord. So once Sri Prabhupada was asked, well, how do you get this enthusiasm, and Prabhupada said, be enthusiastic. That's all, be enthusiastic. And we know what that takes. It's not that we inherit it or anything. If anything, we inherit laziness. But enthusiasm is hard to purchase. So we have to realize that sometimes it is easy to be enthusiastic if you like to do that thing, or if you're good at it. Like someone asked me to refinish this or do some kind of woodworking. Yeah, sure, no problem. No problem. And then they asked me to do a class. I go, oh, that's a hard word. And so, and then of course, if we don't like it, And we're very reluctant. It's hard to overcome that reluctance and that maybe distaste of something. So then it really have to muster up some enthusiasm. And sometimes that takes a little help from a different source. And there's a nice story about a little sparrow. We have wrens here, little teeny wrens and finches. They're like sparrow. They're even smaller. And they're the ones that when you go to sleep at night, you put your shoes out on the porch, and in the morning you have a nest in your shoes, and you put it out, and the next morning you have another nest. And in my workshop, I go to get nails, and there's a nest in all the boxes of nails. And they're very enthusiastic. Well, this little sparrow, he wanted to put his eggs on the seashore, and came back, the eggs are gone. And he noticed that the ocean was kind of laughing. The ocean came up, swept away the eggs, and the sparrow was furious. But very enthusiastically and very determined, but not very patient, the little sparrow demanded, "I want these eggs back. You hear me, big ocean? I want them back. Bring them back now. If not, I'm going to dry you up." Now the beak is about this big, so it starts pecking a little water and putting it over here and pecking a little water, very enthusiastic, faster and faster, and the ocean's just laughing, but not for long. Because why? Krishna could see the enthusiasm of this little bird, so determined, and he sent his bird carrier Garuda to come down. Garuda has a wingspan, we can't imagine how big it is, and very strong. And he's back there, a small one of him. And so he comes down and he puts his hands on his wings or hips or whatever, and he says, "Give back those eggs or I'm going to dry you up in no time." And Ocean said, all right, gave it back. So this enthusiasm, Krishna sees it, he feels it, and so he sometimes can give you some nice help. There's a nice something Srila Prabhupada said about this. Utsaha, that enthusiasm is the real beginning of determination. So this sparrow was very enthusiastic, and then he got very determined. So this, if you want to know how to be more determined, then that's the way to do it, is become enthusiastic. So sometimes we get in a rut sometimes in spiritual life, and we think, I don't seem to be advancing so much ahead. Kind of in one place. It's hard to get enthusiastic. I'm just kind of there, not going anywhere. And that's sometimes you can see that you're you're too much cozy in your comfort zone. That comfort zone where everything's going smoothly, everything's regulated, nice yoga, regulated life. I've been doing this. I do it every day for every year, every decade, every whatever. And then someone comes by and goes, Prabhu, do you think you could manage this, or can you take charge of this? And you're going, oh, this is beyond my border. No, well, please, I don't want to hear it. And you try to avoid it. A little call of surrender, and you think, how am I going to get this? How am I going to do this? But then, if for some reason you don't do it, you might regret it later. And I have an experience of that. I was in Los Angeles, 1971, and new devotee, very new devotee, and Karandar, temple president, came up to my husband and said, would you and your wife like to go start the temple in New Zealand? And so my husband came up to me and said, would you like to go start a temple in New Zealand? And I go, New Zealand? Where's New Zealand? I'm born and raised in Miami. My parents are here. I'm from the U.S. What do they speak in New Zealand? Where? I don't even know where it is. And so I was really reluctant. And I'm so sorry. That's the only time I really balked. It was just out of my comfort zone, out of the U.S., far away, and I regret it. So sometimes we do have to stretch a little, and the older you get, the harder it is to stretch. and the more painful. But no pain, no gain. So you should look for those opportunities to stretch and to get out of your comfort zone. Because surrender can be an intense thing, and it should be intense. And so we should learn to welcome with hands stretched up or folded hands when we do get an opportunity to approach some way where we can be more enthusiastic and make some advancement towards our ultimate goal, which is to see Krishna, to be back with Krishna. There was Narada Muni also one time. He was around in the forest, and he found out from the demigods that there was this little teeny boy meditating in the forest and he was so powerful with his meditation that things in the universe were getting to shake. And so Narada Muni went to check on this, and he saw this little 5-year-old boy meditating, and he said, "Little boy, what are you doing? You know, what kind of austerity are you doing? You're just a small little boy." And the little boy said, I'm going to see God. I'm going to do these austerities, and I'm going to see God. And if you want to bother me with something else and to discourage me from my enthusiastic endeavor, go away. And but Narada Muni stayed, and he gave him a mantra and helped him. So that enthusiasm, this is what we're looking for. And he did see God. He was successful. But sometimes we're not successful, even though we're enthusiastic. But we should always remember that whatever we do in devotional service, it is never lost. It's always positive. And Krishna sees our efforts. Here's a nice saying by Prabhupada. He says, "So do not lack this enthusiasm. Try to do it in the best capacity, and that will be recognized by Krishna." I was in this kitchen this morning cutting vegetables, and I'm a little known for my being very particular about how the vegetables be cut, because I've been a cook for a long time, and I know if you got a big piece of this and a little piece of this, and that one's going to be mushy, and this one's going to be big. So I'm real particular. And so I had a brand new bhakta, Antonio, who was there in the kitchen. There he is. And I said, no, you got it. This one's too big. See, that one's too small. And so he was like very meticulously, doing that. And he said, "I'm trying my best." And I said, I know Krishna was watching him, and he did actually a fantastic job. Thank you. But so that's enthusiasm. Might not succeed the first time, but he did probably the third potato, he got it together. So Bhaktisiddhanta said that we should not act in a way that we're trying to see God, although Dhruva Maharaj did, but he changed his mood after a while. But we should act in a way that God will want to see us, that he'll see the effort. And we can reflect on Srila Prabhupada. Just think of what Srila Prabhupada did, the enthusiasm he had to come to America. Srimati Maharaji was quite impressed. I was in Bombay at Juhu one time with our girls' school, and we went over to see Srimati Maharaji. She lives just very close to the temple, and she had a girls' school at that time. And we went over to get her association because she had Prabhupada's association, and we sat down with her, and she told us, your Guru Maharaj, he was so enthusiastic. He was so determined. He would not go away. And so therefore I gave him that ticket to come here. So that's enthusiasm, determination, and patience that Srila Prabhupada was definitely an example of. Because he was focused. He was focused on that instruction of pleasing Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, going to America and starting this movement. He was focused. Just like when you were a small kid, you had a magnifying glass, you'd go out there and find some leaves, and you'd get the sun, and you'd try to get it to get so hot on there, maybe at best you'd see a little bit of smoke or something. I never got a fire. I don't know about you guys, but I get a little puff of smoke. But I guess I wasn't focused enough. But Prabhupada was focused enough, and he lit fire to this Western world in Krishna consciousness, and now it's all over the world. So this is the example. He had the fire of prasadam. He had the fire of kirtan. And he had the enthusiasm that we needed. And when he was asked by the reporter, when he was getting onto the boat, the boat was, and the reporter said, "So you're going to America? Well, boy, you must be really excited. You're going to see the Empire State Building and this and that." And Baba goes, "I am simply going there to spread the message of Srimad Bhagavatam, to help these fallen souls." So this was his focus, and that's what he did. And now we can see in his hardships, but his patience and determination has created these temples all over the world. So we should be very grateful for that. It's also nice to have support. He didn't have much support, but we find that it's nice to have support. It keeps our enthusiasm on fire, right? When someone comes up and helps support you. Or sometimes someone will come and put a wet towel on your project, right? I had that happen the other day. Someone came up and just put out my fire. You know, someone said, "Oh, no one ever goes out to the eco farm, you know. And I went, "Oh," you know. And I was thinking, "Oh boy, all that work, sweat, hot, you know, ant bugs and everything." Anyway, so it's good to not hear negative things when you're all enthusiastic, but to be particular about your association, to try to find someone who has like-minded with you, and to to keep your distance from the lazies and the crazies, and to be focused on what you're doing. Because enthusiasm is contagious. It's actually a wonderful thing. It can jump anywhere in this room. And it's wonderful. And when we would have to clean the kitchen in Lake Huntington, it was a horrible kitchen. It wasn't really a kitchen. I don't know what it was. Anyway, we had get help in there doing it, and we'd get a couple people that were enthusiastic, and before you know it, everyone was enthusiastic. The whole thing would be clean in no time, and they came out happy and fun, because it is contagious. So you should remember that, and try to help other people, and maybe when they're a little lacking it. I was reading this story about Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement, and how when the Qazi gave them troubles, that he said, "Okay, well, we're going to march on the Qazi." And he got so enthusiastic, and he said, "Get some lanterns and get a bunch of people, and let's march there." And before you know it, there were thousands of people. The enthusiasm caught on. And then they came there, and the Qazi were like, "Whoa," and even the Mohammedans were surrendering. So this is the effects of more and more people becoming enthusiastic. There's another nice quote. This movement, Papa says, this movement depends on this enthusiasm. So it's depending on how enthusiastic we can be to spread it. And we see it when we have a wonderful festival, or look at the enthusiasm. I mean, these people spent, how many hours doing this? So many hours, weeks planning it and everything. And we're all pleased. We're all happy. We're so glad we came here to see it. We're all taking pictures of it. We can't stop taking pictures because they're nice. We were enthusiastic when we see Sankirtan. We see the mercy being spread, and people at Rath Yatra, non-devotees just twirling around having a great time. It's a wonderful thing. Srila Prabhupada also commented, enthusiasm means to take things very seriously. So daily, we have a serious battle. We wake up and the material energy is ready there to thwart our enthusiasm. So we have to realize that it can be depressing at times, but we have to keep our Krishna consciousness intelligence very strong. That means our sadhana has to be very strong, especially our japa. That's like your recharge, your big old battery, that you chant enthusiastic japa, loud, clear, attentive, put everything into it. You can go on the whole day, in a great mood, and things will just go so nicely. So this is, if you really want to be enthusiastic about something, then, put it into that battery. And after, daily, and then monthly, and then yearly, and decade-wise, sometimes your battery might run a little slow, and you're not quite so enthusiastic. But you can find it in the 9 processes of devotional service, like I mentioned here. There's so many different things to get enthusiastic about. If you don't like this, then you like that. If you don't like kirtan, you can read, or you can study, or you can do so many different things. But to find something what you can become comfortable in, and to offer your heart and soul to. Find something to please Srila Prabhupada. And to stay fixed up, you have to sometimes take shelter of just prayer and remembrance. Just like Gajendra the elephant, he was losing ground, literally. He was in the water. He was supposed to be on the ground. He's in the water, and he was losing the battle. For thousands of years, he was fighting this alligator who was very comfy in his water surrounding. And then the elephant said, I'm losing it. And then somehow or other, because he was a transcendental soul inside, he remembered. He didn't have anything else. He couldn't be enthusiastic anymore. He had no strength left. But he had the remembrance of prayers. And then he prayed to the Lord enthusiastically, wonderful prayers. And of course, Krishna came, killed the alligator, and saved his devotee. So there's always something that we can be enthusiastic about. And if we need to refresh, push our refresh button, there's many ways you can do that. There's Kirtan Mela coming up soon. There's big festivals coming up you can take part in. There's lots of cooking in the kitchen to do. There's so many different things you can do. And study groups, opportunities to preach. So this is a way that we can refresh and keep fired up. But I found over the years that the most enthusiasm comes from feeling needed, that my service is needed somewhere. Although we don't really need to do anything, Prabhupada could have done everything, but he made us feel needed, and Krishna's helping us think that maybe we could do something for him, make him a flower outfit or something. But we should feel that Prabhupada still needs us to spread this movement. So we should feel enthusiastic. I know that when I helped start temples in the beginning, sent there with nothing but a Volkswagen Beetle, car with a bunch of incense in it. Went to Dallas and okay, now start a temple. Okay, all right. And you needed people to help you, so you were so enthusiastic to preach because everyone you thought, I need you. And at the same time, they felt needed because you really did need them. And so they stayed in the temple. And then you made devotees, and it just grew and grew and grew and grew. But this is an experience that is there in bhakti. It proves that this bhakti is real life, that there's a reciprocation. The more we're enthusiastic, the more we give, then Krishna gives us more. And he feels that I need her back. I need them back. And so it's actually reciprocation. It's actually what love is really about, what bhakti is really about. So we should realize that this is the way that we could become more attached to Krishna, the more devoted, and we can break away and find our way out of this darkness. So we should also be very careful not to be too enthusiastic. It also describes in Nectar of Instruction, over-endeavor for materialistic things. Not good, not good. Even in spiritual things, you have to be careful that, I'm so enthusiastic, I'm the cause of my advancement. No, that's not right. Krishna is the cause of everything. Guru is helping you. He's pulling you towards him. So you have to be careful with that. And you have to be careful not to judge other people's enthusiasm by the quantity of things they do or how good they do things. You can't think that I'm faster or I'm better or I'm more intelligent. No, this is not what enthusiasm means. Just like when they were building the bridge to Lanka, Ram was watching Hanuman work so hard, and then Hanuman looks down and sees this little spider or whatever it was kicking a little bit of dust. And he's like, who are you? I'm so enthusiastic. Well, But Ram said, no, this fighter is just as enthusiastic you are. He might be kicking just a little bit of dust here, throwing a boulder, but that's not the way Krishna sees it. Prabhupada says this, he says, our success is in our enthusiasm. So everything should be done with enthusiasm, the chanting, the reading, and the following the rules. So these are descriptions of these ornaments that devotees have of patience and confidence and enthusiasm. These are beautiful, rare ornaments that are found by the materialistic people that are very much underdressed. They don't have any good qualities. Those people that are just looking for themselves, they're actually hurting themselves so badly, and they're not really living a life. What kind of life is that when you're simply just thinking of your own self? It's described in the Kali Yuga, manda sammatayo, that they're lazy, they're in spiritual life, they're very slow in spiritual life, and they're very troubled. And we see the materialists that are just endeavoring for themselves, they're always troubled. They're miserable. That's not the way to live. That's not our real life. We should realize that bhakti is really our life. And this is what Dr. Kapoor in India is speaking with Srila Prabhupada about his success. He says, such enthusiasm, he's talking about the devotees, such enthusiasm that these devotees have because you are giving them transcendental injection. So Prabhupada's enthusiasm was injected into us, and that's why we became, why this movement has become successful, because of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada always gave credit to his spiritual master. So this is very, very important, that we thank Prabhupada for this injection that gives us the passion to keep going and be patient, so that we can see Krishna. And some people say, well, sometimes enthusiasm, you look like you're faking it. You know, you look, you're like a cheerleader, you know, rah, 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 and ooh, I'm so enthusiastic. But sometimes you need a kickstart, you know, to get going. So sometimes you have to say, all right, let's go to Kirtan, let's go clean the kitchen, let's go mop the floors, rah, rah, rah. And so it helps. It gets the ball rolling. So sometimes you have to do this. And we have to remember that sometimes we're just not in the mood, or it's too hot, or it's too cold, or our health is getting bad, and it's hard to be enthusiastic. And so in that way, we should realize that the Maha Mantra that we're saying is, please, O Lord, engage me in your service. So if we keep chanting, Krishna will hear that call, and he'll engage us, and he'll accept our enthusiasm to serve. So it's okay to pray for enthusiasm. Actually, Prabhupada had a prayer. He asked Krishna to give him enthusiasm till death, to die on the battlefield. So this is the enthusiasm we should have, to have him constantly, so we can serve Srila Prabhupada forever and ever. And the last couple things I wanted to say are that, you know, the Olympics are coming up, and you can see that the materialists have some enthusiasm for certain things, and one of them is sports. Have you ever noticed? I mean, now I'm really noticing because the Olympics are coming up. So much enthusiasm. And I was talking to a friend of mine that I work with, and he said that, you know, whenever there's a big football, soccer game, you know, big title game, that in Colombia, and this happens in many countries, that if they win or they lose that night, there's at least 6 to 8 deaths because of their enthusiasm, their attachment to this crazy thing. You know, I remember one time the Brazil lost it because their man put their ball in the wrong goal, and they killed the man afterwards. You know, so this kind of enthusiasm we don't want. Enthusiasm to become beautiful. What do women go through? Pin up this, pin up here, slice here, stitch this together, fast till you're almost dead, whatever, you know. And then there's, of course, richness. This is what Bhagavad Gita says. This is the enthusiasm they have. The demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and I will increase in the future more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him, and my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I'm the richest man. And it goes on and on and on, and we know what it's like. But what are they surrendering? Their good qualities. They're sacrificing all the human, saintly, wonderful qualities for something. To be enthusiastic the whole lifetime for nothing, really. Whereas the devotees were enthusiastic to please Srila Prabhupada and to engage eternally in the lotus, in the serving the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. So maybe someone else would like to say something about enthusiasm, patience, confidence. Yes.
Mataji, Prabhu, you were saying... Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. You were saying sometimes we get stuck in a comfort zone, and I also came to my mind that comfort zone can also show up sometimes as a discomfort zone. That woe is me, this depression, this heaviness. Oh, I'm not good enough. What I have to offer is not so valuable, or so on and so forth. So how to not underestimate our potential, just to show up anyway. And maybe you could say something about that.
Well, the yogis are steady in their service, and if you're in good association, you'll be inspired. If you're just by yourself, you can get very depressed. So therefore, keep an association with devotees. That is our comfort, a real comfort zone. It's not comfortable to be alone.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, so you can enthusiastically honor prasadam and enjoy the nice darshan here. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare